Hello, Internet. This is Myriad from Arkham.cards, and today I'm recording the first in what will be a series of videos to preview ADC's inaugural release, The Ghosts of Onigawa, which is a fully featured investigator and campaign expansion set that are compatible with Arkham Horror the card game. If you don't know what Arkham Horror the card game is, then this is probably going to be very confusing for you, but very briefly, it's a cooperative living card game published by Fantasy Flight Games that's set in their Arkham Files universe. You can think of it like an RPG adventure set in the Lovecraft mythos. And Arkham Horror also has a very vibrant community of custom content makers, of which I am pleased and honored to call myself a part. You can think of this video series as behind-the-scenes developer commentary sort of thing, as much as a Let's Play. And I guess a demo that can give you some kind of idea what to expect if you bring Onigawa to your Arkham group. I can't stress strongly enough that the cards and text you'll see in these videos are not the final versions. There will definitely be further tweaks and art passes and writing passes done further down the line, so if you notice some typos or some templating that's not quite right, try not to hold those against me. I'm intending to use these sessions as an excuse to do some playtesting and ferret out some of those types of issues as I go. And it should go without saying that these videos will contain story and mechanic spoilers, so if you haven't played through Onigawa yourself yet, and like what you see by, I guess, the end of this first video, then maybe you should punch out and come back after you've gotten a chance to play through it yourself. As you can see, I'm using the latest version of SCE and Tabletop Simulator for this playthrough, which is my preferred method of playing Arkham these days. When Onigawa's finally released, there will be print and play and print on demand option for those of you who prefer to do your Arkhaming at the kitchen table. But while it's in preview, I'm going to just keep it as digital only, just to make life a little easier for myself. The Ghosts of Onigawa also includes a player expansion that includes 100 new player cards and 5 new custom investigators. If you have the latest version of SCE, you can actually get them yourself by going to the community content section and clicking on Ghosts of Onigawa. And that'll spawn a little box right here with all the goodies for you to check out. But we won't be using the custom investigators or player cards in this video series. We're going to take vanilla investigators through the campaign, in part just as sort of a control. The player cards are being balanced separately, and I would just like to take some vanilla investigators through and make sure everything works well for them. So yeah, I think that's all the introduction I really need. I guess I should tell you who I'm taking. I've decided to take Nathaniel Cho and Norman Withers through the Ghosts of Onigawa. No real reason I picked those specifically other than they're relatively new and I haven't had a ton of chance to play with them yet, so it seemed like a good excuse. I guess I'll link the deck lists I'm using in the description of the video if you want to check them out. This isn't really supposed to be like a deck showcase, so I'm not suggesting that the decks I'm using are the best possible decks for these investigators. They're just some homebrew deck lists I threw together. I didn't design them specifically to address anything that might be in Onigawa. These are just the regular deck lists I'd use for these investigators if I was taking them through any campaign. Maybe it is worth mentioning that I took In the Thick of It for both of them. I love this card and will pretty much take it for every investigator from here to eternity. So we start with a little bit of XP for each of them. Nathaniel took a level 2 Bandolier and a copy of Ever Vigilant, fully expecting to build him into a stick to the plan. And Norman got a copy of Stargazing, as well as 2 copies of Band of Chattooga, that new level 1 hybrid spell, so hopefully he can get some damage done if he really needs it. You can also see that Nathaniel's got some copies of Soothing Melody because he has the Hollowed Mirror in his deck. I won't go through the entire deck lists. You'll see them unfold as we play. I think they're not the best possible, but I think they're reasonable, and I should hope that they would be able to get through Onigawa without too much trouble. But hey, I guess we'll see. Alright, well, I think we are just about ready to go. Why don't we get set up for the first scenario? So I do have a campaign guide for the campaign, and I've got all of the scenario cards we'll need right here. So why don't we start with the campaign? There are some blurbs and some rules explanations up top. I won't bore you with those up front. I guess I should briefly mention them in case they come up. I've introduced some new keywords for Onigawa. One thing to know is enemies may have a new keyword now called ambush, which basically means whenever they become engaged with an investigator, they make an immediate attack of opportunity, unless they're exhausted. And frenzy, if enemies have the frenzy keyword, they get +1 fight for each point of damage assigned to them. And I have slightly reworked the hunter keyword. Basically now it will just be hunter and then a number, and the number indicates how many locations they hunt towards the nearest investigator during the hunt step of the enemy phase. And so legacy cards that bear the original hunter keyword are just treated as though they have hunter 1. Let's see. I guess there is a protected enemy in the first scenario, so we better mention that. Protected is just a catch-all keyword for you can't do anything to this enemy. We see effects printed on some of the final bosses in a couple of the campaigns. That's basically just like, it's immune to all player card effects, and it can't be exhausted, and you can't hurt it, and you can't do anything to it, you know, until it wakes up, or you do the story thing that makes it vulnerable. So protected is just a keyword that we can use now to just signify that you can't interact with this enemy, and usually there will be some means in the scenario, either on story assets or on the act and agenda cards, that will let you remove the protected keyword if you need to, or perhaps there will just be other ways to complete the scenario. Okay, I think that's about all we need up top. Why don't we get into it? We've got the standard campaign set up. We'll play on standard. I know that some people who play Arkham think it's sacrilege to play on anything but expert. I totally get and respect that position. For the purposes of this video series, we're going to just play on standard, because I'm definitely not the best at Arkham, and I would prefer not to fail the first scenario of my own campaign if at all possible, especially on stream. So we'll play on standard. I've already set up the chaos bag with the tokens that we need, so we can just go ahead and get right into the prologue. Arkham, August. It has been a cruel summer. This awful heat wave currently ravaging Arkham has already claimed a record number of lives, and the rest of the city's denizens are getting by solely on the basis of their own ingenuity. As I write this, a group of urchins have managed to hack away at a fire hydrant on the corner, and their joyous laughter as they frolic beneath the spraying font is soothing balm in itself. No doubt the authorities will arrive shortly and insist they must burn to a crisp like the rest of us. For my part, I found it increasingly difficult to sleep in these conditions, much less get any actual work done, and so I've decided to take an impromptu vacation of sorts. For years, I have corresponded with a man named Takeshi Harada. We worked together briefly in a past life, and I've always found him to be a decent and forthright man. He has written to me often about the idyllic life he has cultivated in the halcyon hamlet of Minakami Village in the years since his retirement, extolling the virtues of simple country life. Indeed, Minakami is apparently so remote and so removed from the affairs of the world that it has not been depicted on any of the maps of the region I have managed to come across. Nevertheless, Takeshi has frequently bid me to come and visit him, and it seems like the time has finally arrived for me to take him up on his offer. I expect I may remain there through autumn at the very least, and so I have spent most of the day packing as much of my life into my luggage as I can manage. I'm sure Takeshi will make light of my excessive baggage, but he knows how I get when my mind remains idle for too long. Besides, you never know what might come in handy. There's no direct transport to Minakami, but Takeshi has agreed to meet me at the nearest station and escort me back to the village. I depart at first light. Proceed to Scenario 1. The Hidden Village. I just remembered we forgot to pick a lead investigator, so why don't we just nominate Nathaniel? I don't think that will come into play in a significant way, but just to keep things tidy, we'll say Nathaniel's the lead. Alright, on to Scenario 1. Minakami Village, August. Intro 1. I loitered around the station for several hours, but Takeshi never showed. I assumed he must have forgotten, or perhaps their attitudes toward time in Minakami are unconventional, and resorted to becoming my own guide. Eventually I did manage to find my way to the village on my own, thanks in no small part to the descriptions of various landmarks in the letters Takeshi had sent me over the years. When I arrived at his home, there was no sign of my friend. With no small amount of effort, I was able to inquire regarding his whereabouts with some of the locals, and I'm not sure if they were distrustful of me because I'm an outsider, or simply reluctant to burden me with the truth. Takeshi is dead. About a week ago, he was found unconscious along the outskirts of the village. There were visible bruises around his neck, apparently, but no other evidence explaining what had transpired. Seeming content to declare his death an accident, they have already buried him, making any further assessment of his body rather difficult. In such a remote place, competent medical practitioners are difficult to come by, I suppose. Some of the locals I questioned about the affair also spoke to me in murmured whispers about some sort of curse, mentioning that a pair of young girls had gone missing from the village a few days ago. As far as I can surmise, they had no connection to Takeshi, and so I imagine they will return home once they grow hungry enough. It seems Minakami's remoteness is not lost upon the townsfolk. Several people I spoke to made oblique references to, quote, the hidden village. Suffice it to say, the villagers appear to be a highly superstitious lot, though their hospitality during this strange visit has been satisfactory. I see why Takeshi spoke so fondly of this place. Despite the circumstances, it is quite breathtaking. They tell me they erected a small cairn marking Takeshi's grave in the forest near where his body was found. Tomorrow, I go to pay respects before I gather my belongings and return to Arkham. It's the least I can do to honor the memory of my late friend. Proceed to the Forest Guardians. The next morning, you find yourself lingering at the edge of the thick forest on the outskirts of the village. A simple stone path ushers you into its heart, revealing an expansive grove of shrines and grave markers. A heavy silence hangs in the air. No birdsong or breeze disturbs the tranquility of these woods. Before you, a large red gate stands ominously in the distance. You become somewhat disoriented by the unnatural quiet as you stare at it, and wander off the path into a secluded grotto. Within, a small pool of water is flanked by a series of shrines, each adorned with a stone statue depicting some sort of animal spirit. Your fingers absently graze the edge of a strange coin jangling in your pocket, which you had previously purloined from Takeshi's residence. Perhaps you should make an offering. But to which? Gather the encounter cards from the Guardians of Minakami encounter set and place them face down in the play area, then proceed to the relevant section below. Alright, so the first thing we get to do in the campaign is earn the support of a Guardian Spirit. And how that works will depend on what difficulty you're playing the campaign on. You can see there's two sections, one for if you're playing on easy or standard, and one if you're playing on hard or expert. I've always been kind of interested in finding ways to bring the difficulty into the campaign in ways other than simply changing the math of the chaos bag or, you know, increasing the difficulty of the symbol tokens. And so I thought this was a really great way to try that on. I'm not sure how it will end up working in the end, but I think it's an interesting concept. So what we're going to do is basically flip up these asset cards because we're playing on standard, and that means you carefully inspect each of the shrines, studying the creatures intensely before making your selection. Reveal each of the gathered cards. Starting with the lead investigator, each investigator must choose one of the remaining cards and add it to their deck. It does not count against your deck limit. Then remove any unchosen cards from the game. They will not be used during the campaign. Proceed to a Blessing in Disguise. Okay, so we've got a choice to make about which of these animal spirits we want to be friends with during the campaign. I'll let you look at those real quick while I check the audio real fast just to make sure that we are in fact recording. So give me 1 second. Okay, everything looks good. Alright, so we've got 4 animal buddies for our investigators to choose from. Why don't we start with the Blind Warden, which is probably the most straightforward one. The Blind Warden, Blessing of the Karasu. They're all permanents, and they're all limit 1. I'm using the aspect trait to signify these guardian spirits. Blind Warden has a forced ability. At the end of the round, if you did not deal damage to an enemy this round, exhaust it. And then it's got a reaction, which is before revealing chaos tokens while fighting, exhaust this. The attack does +1 damage. So they basically all have some sort of tax you have to pay at the end of the round, otherwise they become exhausted going into the next one. And the 4 guardians kind of line up with various archetypes that you might be playing as. So obviously the Blind Warden is good if you're going to be doing some fighting. So I think we'll probably have Nathaniel take this one, and then we'll have a look at the others. So we've got the Penitent Sentinel, which is Blessing of the Okami. Forced. If a curse, skull, or tentacle are resolved during a test performed by an investigator location, exhaust the Penitent Sentinel. The Penitent Sentinel can only be assigned damage or horror if it's ready. So you can basically, taking the Penitent Sentinel gives you +1 sanity and +1 health, effectively. It is a permanent, so you might have noticed in the rule clarifications in the campaign log, I just spelt out, you can assign permanents horror and damage up to their printed limits, but they're not discarded. If they reach those limits, you just can't assign anything to it over that. But you might be able to heal the damage from it with some player cards or other things like that. So yeah, Penitent Sentinel just gets you a little bit of extra soak. But you won't be able to use it if somebody pulls a naughty token at your location. We've also got the Sly Bandit, which is the Blessing of the Tanuki. Forced. At the start of your turn, pay 1 resource or exhaust the Sly Bandit. And there's a reaction. When you successfully evade an enemy, exhaust the Sly Bandit, and you gain resources equal to the evaded enemy's evade value. So there's sort of a calling your shot thing going on here, where if you don't expect to be evading an enemy on your turn, then you probably won't pay the Tanuki tax, if we can call it that. But if you expect to be doing some evading, then it might be worth your while to chip him a buck in order to get a little bit more back when you do that evade. And then last but not least, we've got the Divine Messenger, which is the Blessing of the Sheikah. Forced. At the end of the round, if you did not discover a clue this round, you have to exhaust the Divine Messenger. And there's a reaction. Before revealing chaos tokens while investigating, exhaust the Divine Messenger. If you succeed, discover an additional clue from your location. So, Divine Messenger is basically the Blind Warden, but for cluing instead of fighting. So I think makes sense for Norman to take that one. And any you don't take are removed from the game, and we won't see them again. Goodbye, guys. Okay, and then we proceed to a Blessing in Disguise. Starting with the lead investigator, each investigator must read aloud the section below that corresponds with the aspect story asset they added to their deck. Once each investigator has read a section, proceed to setup. So we will be reading the Blind Warden and the Divine Messenger. The Blind Warden. Perched atop one of the shrines, a gloomy raven catches your gaze. Speaking of which, it appears to be missing its left eye. A battle scar, perhaps? While certainly more noble than the common crows that menace Arkham, the familiar sight reminds you of home. Surely that is worth a coin. And the Divine Messenger. A proud stag bows before you, its antlers unfolding to perfectly frame the shrine behind it. Its pure white coat strikes you as regal somehow, and you feel as if you are being ushered into the creature's kingdom. Appropriate that you should pay a sovereign his tithe, you think, as you place your coin upon the altar. Alright, we are ready to set up the first scenario. Gather all the cards from the following encounter sets: the Hidden Village, Cruel Corvids, Forest Frights, and Fearsome Fog. So I've got those in here. Why don't you just go ahead and take my word that I know how to set up the scenario, and I won't bore you with the with actually reading how it goes. But, I mean, it's pretty standard fare. We've got an agenda deck, an act deck, scenario card. We've got a location reference and some starting locations that will go, let's see, let's do it let's do it here, here, and here. We've got an explorer. Oh no, these all come into play also. So why don't we reference our handy dandy location reference to make sure we put them in the right place. Scratch goes there, blue triangle goes there, red square goes there, yellow circle goes there, pink heart goes there. And what else have we got? We've got a starting encounter deck and a bunch of set-aside cards that we will get to later. Alright, we're ready to go. So why don't we get, let's see, it's mentioned that we start play at Grotto of the Guardians, so we can stick everybody there. The Forest Threshold, the Torii Gate, and the Grotto of the Guardians all come into play revealed, so we can have a look at those in a second. But let's get some opening hands going real quick, just to see what we've got. Okay, so let's mulligan the weakness and see what we've got here. So yeah, so I got my 3 experience worth of cards in my opening hand with Nathaniel, so that's pretty great. I would like to have some more assets to actually use Ever-Vigilant for, so I think I'm just going to pitch all these events and draw some more cards. There we go, those are some assets, fantastic. Okay, that's a pretty decent opening hand. We've got Randall, we've got Boxing Gloves, and we've got Bandolier. I'm taking the Boxing Gloves and the Survival Knife with Nathaniel, so that's what we'll be using Bandolier for. So I guess we can go get the Survival Knife with Randall, and then we'll be ready to do some fighting. So that's a pretty decent opening hand, I think. Alright, let's see if Norman has similarly good luck. Okay, well we got the copy of Stargazing, which is really nice, and a Spectral Razor will keep us safe. Yeah, I think I'll just mulligan everything else because I'm kind of looking for assets here. And you know what? With Nathaniel being kitted out, we may not even need Spectral Razor for a bit. So let's just try to get some things that are going to help us clue. And we didn't really get anything particularly helpful whatsoever. So, all right, this could be an interesting one. All right, well, let's go ahead and read the Act and Agenda decks. Agenda 1A, Into the Wild. Though the slight chill nipping at your extremities urges you to tread carefully, you are certain you are alone here. The only sound that pierces the veil of eerie silence blanketing these woods is your own heartbeat. Graveyard locations are connected to the nearest adjacent woods locations. There aren't any graveyard locations out yet. There will be later in the scenario, and this is just letting you know that they don't have location icons, and they're just adjacent to the location they come into play next to. And Act 1, A Funeral for a Friend. The villagers mentioned Takeshi was buried somewhere in this forest, but neglected to elaborate further. Somehow you feel like you'll know his final resting place when you see it. When each surviving investigator has paid their respects to Takeshi, advance. Excuse me. And then we've got the scenario card. Skull is -X, which X is the number of the current act. Cultist is -1, reveal another token. Tablet's -2 if you fail, add a curse. And Elder Thing is -3 if you fail, place one of your clues on your current location. I'm just going to go ahead and make a copy of that and bring it down here so we don't have to scroll up to reference it if we don't want. Okay, let's have a look at some of these locations. We got Forest Threshold over here, 3 Shroud, no clues, Woods. You can't help but be slightly unnerved by the forest's deafening silence. It's got a resign action. We can only do it if all investigators have paid their respects to Takeshi. It's connected to Clover, which is Grotto of the Guardians, Hourglass, which is Torii Gate, and Scratch, which is this copy of Verdant Copse. You'll notice that all of the unrevealed locations have this Verdant Copse placeholder. We don't know what they are. We've got this Torii Gate, Forgotten and Forlorn. It's 4 Shroud, 0 clues. enemies may not enter this location, and investigators may not enter this location if an enemy is engaged with them. So it's a little safe area. But yeah, no clues to go get at the moment. But we start at Grotto of the Guardians, 3 Shroud, 1 clue. I don't currently yet have SCE set up to automatically put clues on the location, so I'll have to do that manually. So bear with me. And it's got a fast action, which is Say a Prayer, and that will let you ready an aspect asset you control once per investigator. So, yeah, should we do little location connectors? Will that make things a little clearer for everybody? Let's see. So it should be like this. And there we go. All right. Well, why don't we take our first turn? So we don't know how many clues we need to advance. We just need to figure out how to pay respects to Takeshi. So we'll have to go find his grave. Why don't we start with Nathaniel? First action, we'll spend $1 to play... Oh no, we don't even have to spend $1 to play Ever Vigilant. But we will have to pay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 for all 3 of these assets, which is a incredible deal. So we'll do that. And when Randall Cho enters play, we can either heal 3 damage or search your deck for a weapon asset and play it, paying its cost. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Which means I can't remember how much Survival Knife costs. It's like 2. Okay, so let's say my first action was actually gain $1. Second action was play Ever Vigilant. Third, which lets me go get Survival Knife and play it for 2. And I've got the extra hand slot from Bandolier, so I've got +1 willpower, in addition to being able to hold both the knife and the boxing glove. That's a pretty fantastic turn, Nathaniel. Why don't we get out there and try to find some clues for Norman to go get? Why don't we go up to Verdant Copse? All the Verdant Copses have the same back except for the location icons. They say, a solemn expanse of tall trees, shrubbery, and stonework beckon. Let's reveal it. Is Winding Wind. 3 Shroud, 1 clue. It's got a forced effect. After you enter Winding Wind, test 3 foot. If you fail, you may not move away from this location until the end of the round. There's no obvious need for the trail to twist this circuitously, but an abundance of caution keeps you from straying too far from the beaten path. So we got to test 3 foot, even though we're out of action, so we couldn't leave anyway. But what do you know? We actually succeeded that test. Well done. Nope. Uh-oh. I don't know why it threw away the Chaos Token. I wouldn't mind losing a -2, to be perfectly honest. Okay, so that is Nathaniel's turn. And now let's see what Norman can do. So, he plays with the top card of his deck revealed, and we can play the top card of the deck at -1 cost once per turn. Well, gosh. I mean, what we really need is some things that are going to help us clue. Why don't we first action, we'll Stargaze, and so that lets us put a copy of The Stars Are Right into the top 10 cards of the encounter deck, so that's going to be real helpful. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there's a copy of Stars Are Right, and we'll shuffle it in, put it back. What should we do? Got this copy of Cryptic Writings. Why don't we fast action shortcut up to Nathaniel's location? Or should we wait and try to get the clue off of Grotto of the Guardians first? Let's just give it a try before we leave. Okay, so second action, we'll just investigate raw. I'm at a 5 to a 3. That seems doable. I don't really want to kick in any of these cards for that. Let's just give it a shot. Maybe, does Nathaniel have any books? No, he's just got a single copy of Toe-to-Toe. Ooh, very nice. I may swap the top card of my deck with a card from my hand. X is the resource. Okay. Why don't we swap Spectral Razor with Cryptic Writings? Okay, so we got a clue. Very nice. That was our second action. Now why don't we fast action shortcut up to Nathaniel. Now we gotta test 3 feet to see if we can leave or not. There's no way we're gonna pass this test, I'm afraid. Even with the good bag of luck, it's not happening. Okay, so we can't leave Winding Wind. Should we just draw Cryptic Writings? They gain $2. Yeah, why not? Ooh, that gives us Brand next turn. Okay, so that was everybody's turn. Not the most eventful first turn in Arkham, but sometimes it'd be like that. No enemies, let's go to Upkeep. Nathaniel got a copy of Clean 'em Out. Norman got the Brand of Katuga. Yeah, cracked the case on top. Alright, not too shabby. Alright, we go to Mythos. Dumon. Oh no, I shouldn't have shuffled that. Crap, let me find the copy of Stars Are Right and redo it. Whoops. Force of habit, folks. Sorry about that. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's Stars Are Right. Shuffle it back in. Whoopsie daisies. Alright, let's get some encounter cards. Nathaniel got a copy of Entangling Roots. Put it into play in your threat area. You cannot perform move actions. You can test 4 combat to try and discard it, and you get +1 combat for each time somebody has tried to break it this round. So that's pretty much perfect for Nathaniel. Spot of good luck there. Let's try Norman. Fungal Growth. Revelation. Attach this to the nearest location without a copy of Fungal Growth attached. Limit 1 per. At the end of the investigator phase, each investigator at the attached location takes a damage. So we've got some gross fungus growing in here. Alright, well why don't we have Nathaniel try to bust out of these roots. Oh, right. Sorry, it's going to be hard to remember this. So at the end of the round, you have to check your aspects and do their pay their tax. So I didn't do any damage to an enemy last round with Nathaniel, so the Blind Warden is exhausted for this round. I did discover a clue with Norman last round, so the Divine Messenger is ready this round. So that's okay. All right, let's have Nathaniel try to bust out of these here Entangling Roots. And just do it raw. We're at 5. I think Skull is -1 based on the current act. That's right. So that brings us down to 4. So we got it. Second action, we scooch up to this Verdant Copse with Nathaniel. See what we got. Jiraiya's Readout, the Shrine of the Toad. 3 Shroud, 4 Clues. The fable of the good-natured frog spirit and the treacherous scorpion who stung him is a favorite among the children of Minakami. And it's got an action. Spend 2 clues as a group. Choose a random set-aside untended graves location and put it into play adjacent to this location, unrevealed. Right, so during the setup we were instructed to make a little side deck of these 3 untended graves locations. So if we get 2 clues as a group, we can put 1 into play next to Jiraiya's Readout. Alright, well, not terribly much else for Nathaniel to do. Maybe we should just... Yeah, I'm scared of having him move too far away from Norman. Why don't we just chill where we are and draw a card? All right, we've got some things to do. Probably should have cleaned him out before I left Norman, but it's not like he's hurting for money, is he? All right, over to Norman. I think the sensible thing to do is going to be, let's at least get Brand of Katuga on the board. Second, why don't we at least try to nab this one clue before we leave Winding Wind, and then we could crack the case on it. Yeah, let's just do a normal investigate, 5 to 3. Oof, big oof. Yeah, maybe I should have committed with Written in the Stars, but it seems like a tough call. Let's try it one more time. 5 to 3. That's -1. Yep, got it. Alright, perfect. We get the clue, and we will play Crack the Case to gain 1, 2, 3 bucks. Got a Scroll of Secrets. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Alright, so we played Brand, investigated twice. That was it for Norman. Alright, no enemies. Let's go to Upkeep. Nathaniel gets a copy of Glory. Norman gets his Scroll Secrets. Ah, and I should mention that I'm playing with both sets of Norman's signatures, so we've got Split the Angle and Livre Devon in here, as well as the Harbinger and Vengeful Hound, so Norman may be getting several weaknesses. Alright, let us put a Doom on, and then let's draw encounter cards. Here we go. Fallen Pantheon. Oh, right, and Blind Warden is still exhausted because Nathaniel has yet to do damage. Fallen Pantheon says, lose 1 resource or take 1 damage. If you control an exhausted aspect asset, which we do, this card gains Surge. We'll lose a buck, and we'll Surge it. Oh, no. Another copy of Fallen Pantheon. I guess we'll lose a buck, and Surge it. And more Dangling Roots. Alright, Nathaniel's having a great time. On to Norman. Ooh, okay, our first enemy, Murder of Crows. Murder of Crows is a 2/2/2. It is said that crows carry the souls of the departed to the land of the dead. Some also believe that when the soul harbors terrible sorrow, a crow may also bring that soul back to put wrong things right. So it's got Hunter 2, which is our first use of the updated Hunter keyword. And after Murder of Crow attacks you during the enemy phase, you have to discard a random non-weakness from your hand. Alright, well, I think it's time for Nathaniel to go a-punchin'. I guess we could have Norman just Spectral it. Why don't we see if Nathaniel can get out of the roots and get over there in time. Should we just test it raw, 5 to 4? Not in a huge hurry, to be honest. Got it. Nice job, Nathaniel. Second action, oh, right. Norman did not leave the fungal growth, so he's going to actually take a damage from that. Sucks to be you, Norman. Second action, Nathaniel's going to come back down. And, let's see. What's the best way to beat up this crow, economically speaking? We could toe-to-toe it to try and do an extra damage from there. Or we could just Survival Knife Vicious Blow. We don't have a money for Glory, which is a bit upsetting. Or we could clean them out, and that will give us +1 damage. Alright, let's do that. So third action is going to be clean them out. We gain 2 bucks. Because of Nathaniel's passive, we get an additional damage from a fight on an event. So this will be 2 damage. So we're fighting at a 5 +1 from boxing gloves. So 6 to 2 shouldn't be any problem at all, right? Indeed. Murder of Crows is dead. We've defeated an enemy. so we can exhaust our boxing gloves to look at the top 6 cards of the deck for a spirit event. Let's see what we've got. Oh, there's the mirror. That's too bad. Okay, so we've got get over here, stand together, clean them out, and let me handle this. Maybe it'd be worth taking a copy of let me handle this. Yeah, why don't we do that, just for a little extra safety. Alright. And just so we don't... Alright, we need to test a boot for Nathaniel to see if he can leave, even though he doesn't have the actions to. He cannot leave, that's fine. And at the end of the phase, we'll just do it now. He's going to take a damage from the fungal growth. Oh, and I guess because we cleaned him out, we can spend the 1 to play Glory as a fast action to draw 2. That's pretty nice. Alright. Great. That was a decent turn for Nathaniel. Alright, Norman, what are we doing? Well, I think our first action is going to be play Split the Angle off the top for 1. Ooh, St. Hubert's. Okay, that'll be good next turn. Why don't we get out of the fungal growth? So second action, we'll move up to Jiraiya's Readout. We do have 2 clues as a group, so we could put an Untended Graves into play. Yeah, why don't we just do that? We'll have to do it eventually anyway. Alright, third action, we will spend our 2 clues to shuffle Untended Graves and put 1 into play adjacent, unrevealed to Jiraiya's Readout. Alright, that's it for everybody. Nathaniel already took his fungal growth damage. We go to upkeep. Nathaniel gets his mirror. Let's go, dude. Very nice. And Blind Warden actually doesn't stay exhausted because we actually did deal damage to an enemy this round, so he gets to actually use it. We'll upkeep Norman. He gets his key. And let's see. Yeah, I gotta remember when's a good time to split the angle. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a strange signature. I guess if there's something you really just don't want that's on the top of your deck, you can get rid of it that way. But if you have a Stargazing in there, it just seems too risky because you don't know which it is. Anywho, all right, so let's go to Mythos, Dumon. Next turn it will advance, and then let's take some encounter cards. Yet another fungal growth. Let's see, it says nearest without a copy, so let's just dump it in Grotto of the Guardians. And let's get one for Norman. Murder of Crows. Is this worth... Let me handle this? Nah, because he's just going to walk up and punch it, so that's fine. Alright, let's start with Nathaniel. Why don't we pay 2... excuse me, to play the Hollowed Mirror. We're going to add 1 copy of Soothing Melody to our hand and shuffle 2 into the deck. First action, second action, we will move back up to Jiraiya's Readout. And third, we'll play another copy of Stand Together to gain $2. And punch this crow at 6-2. Easy every time. We can exhaust Boxing Gloves and search the top 6 for a Spirit. Ooh, dodge the weakness. Take 1-2 punch, or get over here, or another let me handle this. I feel okay with 1. Why don't we take a... I guess we could have... Oh, we don't have get over. Yeah, why don't we take a get over here, just in case. Alright, nice job, Nathaniel. Let's go so I think what we'll do is spend 2, 3, 4 to get our key on the map. So we lose our max sanity reduced by 2. And then, I mean, we got money. How about we spend 1 and get our scroll of secrets on the board? And then why don't we pay $1 to... Actually, let's use our scroll of secrets. Yeah, so we'll spend a charge to look at the bottom card of our own deck. Let's see, we can put it on top of the deck, or add it to our hand, or put it back on the bottom of the deck. I guess we'll just add it to our hand, right? Ooh, good to know. Stay down there, Vengeful Hound. We'll pretend like I don't know that, I suppose. Alright, we'll pay $1 to play Working a Hunch as a fast action, and steal one of these clues. Ooh, be nice to commit that with Written in the Stars. Yeah, why don't we do that? Last action, we'll pay 1 to play Written in the Stars. Oh, right, it doesn't cost an action because it's fast. So we'll just play Written in the Stars. Discard the top card of your deck. If it's a weakness, shuffle it back in. Otherwise, while that card's in the discard pile, commit it to each eligible skill test you perform. So we'll be committing Perception to the next. The last test we take, which I guess we'll do off Brand of Katuga. Yeah, so you may use Willpower. And oh, Brand of Katuga is not Divination. Never mind. I forgot which one I put in here. Okay, so we will just normally investigate at a 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll also exhaust the Divine Messenger. If we're successful, we'll get an additional clue. So what was the shroud here? We're at 8 to 3. That's nothing. We'll be fine. Oof. 8 minus 3, so we're at 5 to 3. Nice. So we get 1 clue for the investigation, 1 clue from the Divine Messenger, and we will draw a card from Perception. And that's it, I believe. Yeah. Alright, great stuff. Let's see, let's upkeep. Well, are we gonna run over the max hand size? No, we're good with Nathaniel. Let's see, we did a damage, so Blind Warden stays unexhausted, and we discovered a clue, so Divine Messenger stays unexhausted. Fantastic. Alright. We're advancing the act. Or the agenda, rather. Agenda 1B, Rhyme or Reason. This leisurely hike through the woods has proven considerably more taxing than you expected. As you wipe some errant spittle from the corner of your mouth, you suddenly notice that your breath is visible, hanging in the air before you like an apparition for the briefest of moments before evaporating into nothingness. You're not just imagining things. The chill has grown considerably more bitter since you entered the forest. Your head begins to ache as you try and catch a glimpse of the sky through the canopy overhead. It was a beautiful morning with clear skies when you departed the village. How long have you been in here? Shuffle the set-aside Fearsome Fog encounter set and the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So wow, we didn't get to our stargazing. Yeah, that's terrible. Fearsome Fog goes in. Discard pile goes in. Shuffle. Agenda 2A, Foggy Fettles. Frankly, the foggy forest feels far from friendly. From your feet, the fetid fumes of fallow festering fecundity fuel a frantic fight or flight frenzy, and further forth from your flank, the fluttering of foul flies frequenting the fragile, frozen-over flower fields fully forms a flickering flash of fickle fear. Forward feels foolhardy, but furtively fleeing for freedom feels futile. Why does your head hurt? Graveyard locations are still connected to the nearest adjacent woods location. Things are getting a little foggy in here. Alright. Now we go to encounters. Lingering Essence for Nathaniel. These are aloof enemies. They have aloof and Hunter 1. Lingering Essence can only be damaged by Blessed or Spell player cards. And while Lingering Essence is ready, Lingering Essence's location gains +1 Shroud. So that's a bit annoying. And another Murder of Crows for good old Norman. Okay. Now, Soothing Melody is a spell, now that we come to think of it. So we could kill several birds with one stone here if we're smart. Why don't we start by cleaning them out, cleaning out the crows. So we are still at 5, 6 to 2, should be fine. Hood is -1, reveal another token, which is -4. 6 minus 4 is 2. Thank goodness, we just made it. Murder Crows is out of here. We'll exhaust our boxing gloves to look in the top 6 for a spirit. I guess we'll take another Let Me Handle This for good luck. Righto. Okay, so we could do something about this Lingering Essence now before it becomes a bigger problem, so why don't we do that? So that was our first action. Second action, we'll play Soothing Melody. Oh wait, Soothing Melody doesn't do damage. It just heals. Whoops. Okay. Well, we've got Brand of Katuga with Norman, so we'll be okay with that. So what should we do? I guess second action might be move to the Untended Grave. Let's see what it is. So Untended Grave is connected to the nearest woods location and vice versa. A crowded collection of weathered stone markers catches your eye. It is the Widow's Respite, which is a 2 shroud, 2 clue location. When this location is revealed, draw the top card of the encounter deck. Oop, and a Fallen Pantheon. Lose 1 resource or take 1 damage. Our aspect is not exhausted, so we'll just lose a buck. Alright. Yep, no need to... So we're going to need to reveal another grave in order to pay our respects to Takeshi. How many clues do we have? We got 3. Okay, so why don't we do... Third action is actually move. Or let's see, is it worth getting over here on the Lingering Essence just to pull it away? It won't be damaged, but I could at least move it back. Now we'll just move down. Alright, nice job, Nathaniel. Let's go over to Norman. So we have enough clues. Should I just Spectral Razor it while I can? No, let's Brand of Katuga it. That seems to make the more sense to me. How about we Scroll of Secrets first, though, and just see what's... Actually, we know what's on the bottom of our deck. It's the Vengeful Hound still, isn't it? Okay. Alright, let's Brand of Katuga the... Oh, we have to engage it because it's aloof, though. That stinks. That's just... Do Spectral Razor it, then. Yeah. What else am I going to be using these for? Alright. We'll Spectral Razor, because that lets me engage the enemy. So, add my brain to my fist. My brain is 5, so I'm at 7 to 3. That's -1 and reveal another. Whew. -4. Alright, we got him. So second action then will be, we'll move to this Verdant Copse location, because we can only reveal one grave per location, limit once per game, so we have to go somewhere else. So let's go over here. And we get to the last Scion. Spend 2 clues as a group, and put a random set-aside untended graves into play. So it's 4 Shroud, 4 clues, and it's got a victory, so maybe we'll see if we can clean that out. Last action. Just investigate raw. Could commit inquiring with written in the stars. Just be super safe. I don't feel like we need to though. We're at 6. Well, we're at 6 to 4. That's not a great test. And if we're gonna exhaust the Divine Messenger, why don't we be sure? So yeah, I'll play written in the stars to commit inquiring mind. Ooh, Witten. There she is. There's my girl. And we'll exhaust Divine Messenger while we investigate. So we are at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and if we succeed, we're at 9 to 4. Yep, 9 to 4, and we'll get 2 clues if we succeed. Whew. Good thing we thank you, inquiring mind. I'm sorry I doubted you. So we get 2 clues. And that was the last action for Norman, I believe. So everybody's good. Let's go to upkeep. How are we doing on Nathaniel's hand? This is going to be his 8th card. Okay. And Norman gets Witten. Alright, and we'll do Mon. And then we'll take encounter cards. Ooh, acoustic dampening. Take 1 horror and put this into play in your threat area. We'll put a horror on Randall Cho. Treat assets in your play area that take up an ally slot as though their text boxes were blank, except for traits. At the end of the round, discard this. So that doesn't really affect Randall. He's kind of just there to soak up horror for us now anyway. So great stuff. Going over to Norman. No, yet another crow. Norman loves these guys. Okay. Well, I guess first, excuse me, first action is going to be moving to Norman's location. What's the best way to beat up, or can I get over there? I mean, there's just no reason to. Oh, it lets you choose a non-elite enemy at your location, move it, engage it, and attack it. So what am I paying 2 there for? Just to avoid hitting Norman if I fail, I guess. Because I'm still gonna have to fight, move, or move, fight either way. So yeah, I don't think that makes a ton of sense. I guess we could have let me handle this, but that wouldn't help us. That wouldn't save us any actions either, I don't feel like. So maybe we just knife plus vicious blow, or toe-to-toe. Yeah, we got a toe-to-toe to spare, that's fine. So we'll toe-to-toe with the crow. Yeah, it's not optimal, but we're going to have to discard some cards in a minute anyway. Alright, so we are at 5, 6. And this will do 2 damage. Actually, it does 3 damage if it hits. What do we got? So we're at 6 minus 4 is 2. We're good. Get out of here, Crow. Leave Norman alone. And we will exhaust boxing gloves to search for the top 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. We get a spirit. And there's Tetsuo. I think our only option here is Monster Slayer. And we'll also pay 1 for glory to draw 2. Oh boy. Okay. Boy, Nathaniel gets to just have a big ass hand, doesn't he? That's pretty cool. Maybe you don't need to run glory as Nathaniel, because I feel like he's not having problems getting cards. I guess turn 1 boxing gloves is not guaranteed, and you might need to dig for that. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so did we move punch? I think we did move punch. So third action will be soothing melody, maybe? Yeah. Well, that's gonna just draw me that card back, though. Alright, so why don't we, instead of soothing melody, spend the 2 clues as a group. How many clues do we have? 5. We're good. Alright, so we'll spend 2 clues as a group to choose a random set-aside Untended Graves location and put it into play. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. And that was Nathaniel's third action. And we'll discard Acoustic Dampening at the end of the round. Alright, Norman. Gosh, what are we doing here with our scrolls? Can we discard the Vengeful Hound off the bottom of the deck? I don't think we can, is the thing. Well, phooey. And we need $2. So we kind of need to crack the case on here. What if we... Well, okay, how about first action? Why don't we play Scroll of Secrets for free? Yikes. Choose and discard all but 1 card from your hand. I guess we're keeping Witten. Okay. Gosh. Yeah, are we sure? Is Vengeful Hand still on the bottom? Are we sure about that? Yeah, okay. There's nothing we can do about that. So what should we do with Scroll of Secrets? Help Nathaniel? Let's give Nathaniel a peek. What's on the bottom of your deck, bud? Soothing Melody? Well, if we add it to your hand, it's going to be a bad time for you. Because you're going to have to discard a bunch of cards, but... Ooh, there's the other boxing gloves. Alright. So the first action was play the Scroll of Secrets. Let's just try to... Well, I guess we don't need to finish investigating this because we don't have cracked the case anymore. So that makes it a little easier. So why don't we do second action. We'll move up to this Untended Grave. It's the Lonely Cairn, Takeshi's grave. 4 Shroud, 4 clues. It's got Victory 1. And we spend an action to remember that we have paid our respects to Takeshi. If we do that now instead of getting a clue, then the Divine Messenger will be exhausted next turn. But I guess it's not a sure thing that we get a clue. We're at 6 to 4, which is not great. Save it for deduction next turn, I suppose. Yeah, alright, we'll just, third action, we'll pay our respects. All investigators have to pay their respects in order to advance, but that's 1 done. Alright, that's everybody. Let's go to upkeep. Okay, now Nathaniel's got to get rid of some of these cards. We don't need a second survival knife. We probably don't need daring, to be honest. We don't need any more card draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we got to get rid of something else. Let's get rid of a get over here. Kind of inefficient, but what are you going to do? We get to discard Acoustic Dampening. And then we'll upkeep Norman. He gets his deduction. Oh, and the Harbinger's here. Fantastic. Alright. Let us go to the Mythos phase. Doom on. And then encounter cards. Ooh, this is a good one. It's Peril, Woman in the Fog. Take one horror, and remember that you caught a glimpse of the Pale Bride. You may not mention the Pale Bride for the remainder of this scenario. Place this card face down in your threat area as a reminder instead of discarding it. For a moment, you thought you heard wedding bells. So, we gotta take a horror. Let's just put it on our big bro. And normal will take an encounter. Yet another crow. Unbelievable. You know what? Well, shit. Nathaniel's gonna have to go up there to pay his respects anyway. Alright. Someday we'll get to use... Let me handle this. Alright, well, it's back to us. I guess Nathaniel's gonna go first. First action move. Second action, we're going to do something to this crow, I'll tell you that much. Should I just knife it and vicious blow? Or just knife it and blind warden it, if anything, right? Yeah, let's do that. I'll save us a card, and we definitely need to save our cards, so that's a good move. That's a good trick. Alright, we'll attack with the Crow Survival Knife, so we're at 5, 6 from Boxing Glove, 7 from Survival Knife. We're going to exhaust Blind Warden to do +1 damage, so 7 to 2. Tablet is -2. Got him. Third action is we pay our respects. Everyone's paid their respects, so we will advance the act. Act 1B, Rest in Peace. You spend a moment in silent contemplation as you examine the pauper's grave they left your friend to rot in. You suppose you ought to be grateful they bothered to drag him in here at all, but the distance between his grave markers and the others just doesn't sit right with you. It feels like an intentional slight. Perhaps there's more to Takeshi's death than you've been led to believe. Just as you resolve to return to the village and demand some answers, a mysterious light emerges from behind the cairn. Each investigator loses all of their clues. Put the set-aside, the Crimson Butterfly Lighting the Way enemy into play at the Lonely Cairn. Here he is. I'll look at him in a second. Let's see, removed the Forest Threshold from the game. Move all enemies and investigators at that location to Grotto of the Guardians. Forest Threshold is deleted. And put the 2 set-aside secret shrine locations into play unrevealed. So we've got Moon, which connects to Jiraiya's Redoubt, and Star, which connects to Red Square over here that we haven't been to yet. Yep, and then we're on Act 2A, Requiem. You find yourself entranced by the mysterious creature that has emerged from Takeshi's grave. Its softly fluttering wings emit a warm glow as it hypnotically dances around you. But when you reach out for it, it recoils from your touch. Is it afraid of you or leading you somewhere? When the investigators have the blessings of the sun and moon, advance. Okay, so we have these secret shrine locations into play now, and you'll notice that they say investigators may not enter secret shrine. So how the heck do we get in there? Well, we have this Crimson Butterfly, who is aloof and protected. He gives his location +1 shroud, or -1 shroud, actually. And we can parlay with him by testing foot or fist equal to the shroud value of its location. And if we succeed, we move the Crimson Butterfly to a connecting woods location, and if it is unrevealed, reveal it. So basically, we have to push the Crimson Butterfly to the secret shrine, which will reveal it. So that'll be fun. It's also giving the Lonely Care -1 shroud, which is pretty nice. So why don't we head over to Norman. Divine Messenger is exhausted because I didn't discover a clue last round. We've got the Harbinger to deal with. So why don't I just spend 2 actions to do that. Oh, there's another copy of Witten. While we're here, why don't I just very quickly... Oh, I haven't gotten any clues off of here yet. Okay. Well, we can't push the butterfly with Storm and Norman with his 1 foot and 2 fist. If we still had Mind Over Matter, we could, but alas. Okay, why don't we try to get some victory before we go? So we'll investigate. I'll commit deduction. So that's making us investigate at a 5, 6, 7 to a 4 minus 1 is 3. 7 to 3 is pretty good. I'll take that test. Oof! Big oof. Alright, we tried, boys. Okay, I think that's everybody. Enemy phase, it's just the Crimson Butterfly, and he doesn't do anything. He's just chilling. So let's go to upkeep for Nathaniel. We get Tetsuo, that's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's ditch a let me handle this. Let's go to Norman's upkeep. Divine Messenger is exhausted, and we've got a shortcut showing. Alright, let's doom on, and then go to encounters. Fungal Growth. We will stick that at Lonely Cairn because we gotta. Maybe we won't get the victory here. And a Lingering Essence is also here. Okay, so Lingering Essence and Crimson Butterfly cancel each other out in terms of the Shroud value. So it's just at a 4. Let's see, can we do anything about that Lingering Essence? Nope, we don't have... Well, we can Band of Katuga it if we really want. Okay, let's do this. Let's have Nathaniel try to push the butterfly. So we can test 4 fists to try and get that done. Maybe we can commit a card to it. Do you have any fists, Norman? No, you've just got 2 Wittens. Alright, I'll chip in a get over here to give me 6 to 4. Not a great test. It's not a good test. We can try it more than once if we need to. Alright, so we're pushing the butterfly, 6 to 4. Got him. Okay, so we successfully parlayed. We can move the Crimson Butterfly to a connected Woods location, and if it's unrevealed, reveal it. So the only connected Woods location is the last Scion, so we'll go there. Second action, we'll move down to Crimson Butterfly's location. Third action, we'll try to push it again. And this time it's 3 Shroud to our 5. This feels like a whiff. I'll put in let me handle this to do 6 to 3. Didn't need it. That's Arkham, baby. Alright, Crimson Butterfly gets pushed to Jiraiya's readout. And now we've got Norman. Guess we don't have to do anything about the Lingering Essence. We can just say goodbye to this victory. Try to get the victory off last Scion. Yeah, so why don't we shortcut for free down to last Scion. We can't play Working a Hunch. Shit. Well, first action, we can spend 4 to get Witten on the field. When we control a tome or a relic, we get +1 book. We have 2 tomes with the scrolls. Do we want to spend a scroll? I don't think I've shuffled, so the Vengeful Hound must still be on the bottom. Alright, why don't we just investigate twice and see what happens. So we're at 5 to 4. Ugh. I mean, we can commit the other copy of Witten. I get 6 to 4. You got any books in there? Give me a Soothing Melody. Yeah. Alright, 7 to 4 is starting to feel a little better. Gosh, dang it, Norman. You're just having a terrible time today with these investigates, bud. Well, if we get one more, we can working a hunch the last one next turn, so I think we just got to keep at it. It's not a good test, though. 5 to 4. Do we kick in Monster Slayer or the other Soothing Melody? I feel like I should hold on to a Soothing Melody. We could kick in Tetsuo. I mean, what are we going to look for with his items anyway? We have everything we need. We've got the mirror, the bandolier, knife, and boxing gloves. I think we just kick him in. Alright, we're going to be at 6 to 4. Ugh, -1 in reveal. Whew! Oh, gosh. Gosh bless it. Alright, we'll take one clue, and that will let Divine Messenger stand up next turn. Alright, we go to enemy phase, and the Lingering Essence hunts down to the last Scion. We'll upkeep Nathaniel. Nice, got the Soothing Melody back. Well done. We'll upkeep Norman. And then we go to Mythos, Dumon, and get some encounters. More Entangling Roots for Nathaniel. And a Mortal Reminder for Norman. Okay, so this one is discard a random non-weakness asset or event card from your hand and test Brain X, which is the resource cost of the discarded card. If you fail or no card is discarded, you can't perform move actions. Well, we have an event card that we're going to randomly discard. 2 Brain. We should be able to pass this. We're at 5 to 2. Easy every time. Got it. Okay. But we can't working a hunch that last clue off the top anymore. Crap. Crap. Well, maybe we'll be back. I guess let's see if Nathaniel can get out of these here roots. Surely he can, right? 5 to 4. Yeah, let's try it. I think the Blind Warden is exhausted because we just pushed the butterfly last turn. Oh, not this time. Let's try it again. It's 5 to 3 now. Or no, it's 6 to 4 now. It's a little better. That's a -3. Place one of your clues. We don't have any. Yuck. I guess that's all we're doing this turn. It's just entangling. So now it's going to be +2. So now it's 7 to 4. There we go. Got it. Alright, well, what can Norman do? He probably can't push the butterfly on his own, eh? Well, I guess we can just get in position. Why don't we do first action, draw Cryptic Writings to play it. Okay, now we're in business. Second action, move. Third action, play Mind Over Matter off the top for free. And now we can use our book instead of our foot to push the Crimson Butterfly. So why don't we do that? Because our book is 5, 6, 7. So we'll test 7 foot to 2 Shroud. Yikes. Almost whipped it. Alright, so we push the Crimson Butterfly into Secret Shrine. It's an unrevealed lids location, so it gets revealed. It's the Shrine of the Moon. A mysterious cloak of unnatural darkness smothers the altar. 4 Shroud, 2 clues. It's got an ability. Remember that you have the Blessing of the Moon. Activate this ability only if there are no clues on this location. Very nice. Okay, so we've got the way to get the blessing of the moon. I bet you can't guess what's out the other secret shrine. Let's see. We go to enemy phase. Lingering Essence stays there because Norman's there. So let's upkeep. I think Blind Warding stays exhausted because we didn't do a damage. And then we'll upkeep Norman. Did we discover a clue? I don't think we did. I think we tried and got a tentacle at some point. Or did we? Where did that clue? It came off of Last Scion, surely. I just can't remember when. Couldn't have been this turn. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Alright, let's go to Doom and Encounter Cards. Stars are right. Let's go, dude. Alright, remove it from the game. An investigator draws a card, gains a resource, and may take an immediate action as if it were their turn. Well, I think Norman is in most need of a card and a resource. Yeah. And he may take an immediate action as if it were his turn. So what should we do? Just move into Shrine of the Moon? Yeah, makes sense. And then Norman gets his encounter. Woman in the Fog. Same old, same old. Take a horror. Remember you caught a glimpse of the pale bride. Let's put it on Witten. Put it face down. Okay, that was a pretty good Mythos phase. So what do we need to do? Well, Norman needs to get those daggled clues off the Shrine of the Moon so we can get its blessing. So why don't we do 1, 2 to read the signs, and that will get us an additional clue, and we get to add his brain, which is insanely high. So it's like, what are we investigating at? 5, 6, 7 plus brain is 4, 5, so it's like a 12 to a 2. Got it. Whew, close one, boys. Alright, so we get the 2 clues off Shrine of the Moon for our first action. Second action, we will activate Shrine of the Moon to remember we have the Blessing of the Moon. And then 3... just get out of here. Just move back. Seems good. But somebody's got to go and push the butterfly back the other way now, so I'm guessing it's going to have to be Nathaniel. First action, move. Second action, move. Third action, we'll try to push the butterfly. So it's difficulty 3 to Nathaniel's 5. Let's make it a 6. Didn't need it. Alright, and I think that's everybody. Enemy phase, Lingering Essence is gonna head on over to us, which is a problem. Let's upkeep. I finally got Safeguard. That would have been nice to have earlier. Let's see. We didn't fight anybody, but we did discover clues. Let's doom on. Next turn we'll advance. Excuse me. And then let's take encounters. More Entangling Roots for Nathaniel Cho. He loves them. An Immortal Reminder for Norman Withers. We got to discard a random non-weakness asset or event, so it's going to be one of these two. I hope it's not the key, just because that one's expensive. He said, forgetting that Arkham listens to you when you play. Alright, so we're testing 4 brain to my 4-5 brain. And Nathaniel's not here to commit, right? Nope. So I guess we're just going to get stuck here if we don't pass this test. But we do. but we do pass it. Okay. Why don't we start with Norman and kill the Lingering Essence, and then that will make it easier for Nathaniel to push the butterfly. That's what I think we'll do. But we gotta get free of the goddamn roots first. How about I just play Safeguard just to get it on the board? And then I'll chip in a Monster Slayer. Now, I'll wait for the last time. I'll just try to bust out of the roots 5 to 4. Nope. Alright, I'll try to bust out of the roots. Now we're at 6 to 4. And we'll kick in Monster Slayer to make it 7 to 4. Good thing we did that. Alright, goodbye roots, but we don't get to push the butterfly. So Norman is going to... gosh. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, so how does Brain of Cthulhu work again? So we can use our brain instead of our fist, so we'll be fighting at 4-5 to 3. And then we spend, well, we'll only spend 1 charge. Okay, 5 to 3 ain't bad. I think this is -2 because of the act. Yep, so that gets it. So we got to spend 1 charge. Alright, and we get +1 from Brand anyway, so yeah. So we got it. Spending 1 to kill the Lingering Essence. Let's see. Well, we could go have another Scion's victory. So we'll do second action, move Norman back. Third action, we'll try to investigate at a 5, 6, 7 to a 4. 7 to 4 is pretty okay. Except when it's not. When it's not okay. Okay, no victory for us this round. Enemies don't exist. We'll upkeep it. And we'll upkeep it. Ooh, Livre de Bon. Alright. Let's see. Divine Messenger's exhausted because we didn't get a clue. Blind Warden's exhausted because we just fought roots the whole time. We will advance the agenda. Oh boy. Agenda 2B. Something strange is going on here. It's impossible to tell through the smothering fog that has rolled in, but it definitely feels darker now than when you entered. Has the sun gone down already? The dull ache in your temple has grown to a rhythmic pounding, and you're finding that it has become difficult to think, much less speak. The growing discomfort in the back of your throat has also become concerning. It feels like your tongue has swollen to twice its normal size. Each investigator must discard all non-weakness cards from their hand or take a horror, and shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Okay, 1 horror or your hand. What's it worth to you? I think it's probably worth the horror to Nathaniel since we can heal that with Soothing Melody. I think it might be... well, we've got St. Hubert's Key as a escape hatch if we need it. We'll take the horror. Alright. Agenda 3A. Force. Investigators cannot commit cards to tests performed by other investigators, and graveyards are still connected to the nearest adjacent woods location. Alright, and then we need encounters. A Mortal Reminder for Nathaniel. Discard a random asset or event. Got a lot of zeros. This would be good. Indeed. Discarding the Stand Together and then testing 0 brain. What do you know? We passed. Hallelujah. Moving over to Norman. You got a crow. And we can't let me handle that. But it's okay. I think Nathaniel is about to... well, he's going to move, push, move, unfortunately. So we might have to brand it, but that's okay. But I think that's how it's going. We're going to do first action move. Second action, we will push the butterfly, testing 5 to 2. Gosh darn it. We're going to test the butterfly at 5 to 2. Got it. And then Norman is going to murder the murder of crows. So we're testing at 4, 5, 6 to 2. That's -1 and another, which is -5. Shit. We'll try it again. Got him. And then we gotta spend 2 charges to kill the crow. And then last action, we will spend 1 to play. Why don't we use up the Scroll of Secrets as a fast action before we do that? You still down there, Vengeful Hound? He sure is. So why don't we spend it on Nathaniel instead? And we can have him draw that. Why not? Have some spare boxing gloves. Okay, and now we will spend 1 to play the Livre de Bon and overwrite the empty Scroll of Secrets. And we can swap cards with the top card in our hand. No real good reason to do that right now. But we could split the angle. I mean, we're out of action, so it's not going to be helpful this turn. Alright, check enemies. I think they're all gone. Let us go to upkeep on Nathaniel. We didn't fight anything. Upkeep on Norman. We didn't discover any clues. Doom on. And encounters. Some more entangling roots. You'll love to see it. And an acoustic dampening, so we don't get +1 from Witten this turn. That's okay. Well, we need Nathaniel to be pushing this butterfly, so let's struggle against the roots. I'll kick in the boxing gloves, so we're at 6 to 4. That is -3 now, right? Because it's the act. Oh no, it's the act, and we're still on Act 2. Yeah. Okay, good stuff. We got it. First action, second action, we'll move. Third action, we'll push the butterfly. It is a 3 to my 5. Let's make it a 3 to my 6, just to be sure. You got any fists in there? Yeah, I want to keep that, and why don't you give me a fist? 3 to 6. Got it. Butterfly is pushed. Alright, Norman, why don't you get us that last clue off your location? We'll commit perception. Well, actually, hang on. Why don't we... We can't do both. That's the problem with the Livre de Bon. We can't put perception on top of the deck and then commit it. That stinks. And it's just 1 clue left on here? Yeah, not worth it. Alright, we'll investigate. I'll commit perception. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 8 to 4. Yeah, 8 to 4 is pretty good. Got it. And we draw a card. And it's the Vengeful Hound. Of course, how could I forget? So that was our first action. I guess we can just have a go at branding it. I think that's our move here. So let's attack with the brand. We'll be at 4, 5, 6 to 2. Yeah, that's easy. Not so easy. And we spend 2 charges. Goodbye, Hound. And then our last action is, I guess we'll just move up to the butterfly. And finally... Oh, right. Butterfly should have revealed this when he moved here. It's in Ari's Rise. Shrine of the Fox. The numerous bundles of rice littering the secluded glen have been intentionally left to honor the patron saint of fertility and agriculture. 2 shroud, 4 clues. And then Norman's going to move here. And I think that's it. No enemies. Yep. So we will upkeep Nathaniel. I don't think he attacked anything. Let's see. We can discard acoustic dampening and then upkeep Norman. Oh, it was the Harbinger, alas. Yeah, so we just don't get a card. We did get a clue though, so Divine Messenger stays ready. Doom on. We're running out of turns. 6 turns left. So let's take encounters. Finally, a crow goes to the right guy. Ooh, we haven't seen this one yet. The Woods Have Eyes. Test 3 foot. If you fail, take 1 horror and move to a revealed connecting location if able. Is that going to be terrible? I mean, what's Nathaniel going to do? He's going to kill the crow, move, push. And so that would be good if we were here and could just move. So I guess I'll commit Inquiring Minds to it and just test it 4 to 3. See what happens. Nothing good happens, that's for sure. If you fail, place 1 of your clues on your current location. Outstanding. So we take a horror and move to a revealed connecting location. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. Alright, well, it's time, here I go a-killing again. I'm just going to... Monster Slay, I suppose. So that'll be a 5, 6, 7 to 2. Beautiful. What do we do here? Turn an event from our discard pile to our hand. Hello. What do we want? I mean, honestly, maybe Monster Slayer. Yeah, why don't we just take Monster Slayer back? Keeps things simple, at least, eh? Okay, great. Murder Crows is gone. Second action, we'll move up. Oh, get back there. We'll move up. Third action, we will attempt to push old Crimson Butterfly. And I'll kick in a 1-2 punch just to make it extra good. Oh no, we don't need that. It's a 1 shroud location. If we whiff this, we deserve to lose. I don't even know what I'm at. 4. I'm at 5 to 1. That should be fine. Yeah. Great. Alright, so we push the butterfly into the last secret shrine. It reveals it for us. And it is indeed the Shrine of the Sun. 4 shroud, 2 clues, and victory if we want it. Alright, Nathaniel's done. Now Norman is going to have to spend 2 actions to ditch the Harbinger. Then he's going to scroll of secrets to look on the bottom of his deck. And he will take that scroll of secrets down there. And then he'll move. And I guess he can move and bring Nathaniel with him next time, for all the good that'll do. Yep, I think that's it. Everybody's done. Let's upkeep. Nathaniel did do damage, so we get to keep the Blind Warden. Unfortunately, he's self-destructive. So when he just takes a damage, or when he deals a damage to him, he takes a damage. Oof, that's a bad one. Norman gets... Oh wait, whoops. We're not on encounters yet. I always get confused by that when you draw on a weakness during upkeep, that you're not on encounters. Upkeep. Okay, and then we go Doom on. 5 turns remain. Now we go encounters. Immortal Reminder. So we'll be discarding a random asset or event. And it was Monster Slayer, which is not the greatest, but it's also 0 cost, so we will test 0 brain, and we win. Great. And an encounter for Tangling Roots for Old Norman. That's not good. Okay, I guess we're going to try to bust Norman out of his roots for him as Nathaniel. At 5 to 4. Do you have any fists in there? Or he could do it himself? Well, what else is Nathaniel going to be doing, right? Well, we chip in a 1-2 punch to make it 6 to 4. Got it. Second and third action will discard self-destructive. First action for Norman will be moving into Shrine of the Sun. Safeguard can then trigger to bring Nathaniel with him. Let's see. Second action. Actually, we can use another Scroll of Secrets to look on the bottom. We'll take those. We will exhaust Libre de Bond to commit Perception to the next skill test we do. And we'll also commit Deduction, and we'll exhaust Divine Messenger. Okay, so we're going to investigate at a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we succeed, we get 3 clues and a card. So that's pretty good. What is the Shroud? It's 3. Yeah, we should be fine, right? Fine. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, so we get 3 clues. Oh, there aren't even... We don't even need 3 clues. I guess I shouldn't have bothered to commit Deduction. My bad. 2 clues, but we still get a card. Ooh, that's a very good card. Okay, so that was a move and investigate from Norman. And we will spend our last action to get the Blessing of the Sun. And we now have the Blessing of the Moon and Sun, so we may advance the act. Act 2B, Night and Day. Thanks to the creature's guidance, you are unable to uncover a pair of shrines hidden deep within the forest. There's a strange and ominous symmetry between them, but you are unable to grok what, if any, significance they may have. As you move to depart the second shrine, you notice a wisp of light descending through the canopy above, and alighting upon the old torii gate you passed earlier. Suddenly, the mote of light vanishes, and the ground below you begins to shudder violently, throwing you into the dirt. Once the tremor passes, and you manage to pick yourself up off the ground, it should be, an unholy shriek echoes from somewhere within the forest. The crimson butterfly begins to sway back and forth in the air, nervously. Flip the torii gate, forgotten and forlorn location, to its reverse side. It is now torii gate, a way out. We'll look at the rest of that in just a second. Put the set-aside Vengeful Echo enemy into play. Here he is. He has a spawn of Hero Surrender if revealed, which it isn't. Otherwise, the Lonely Cairn. Here he is. He is 4/4/4. He gets +3 per investigator health, so he is at 10 currently. After dealing damage to Vengeful Echo, you get a reaction that will exhaust him, but he does 2 health and 2 horror per swing. He does have Victory 1, though. The shambling corpse of this fallen warrior twitches and writhes with every agonizing step. And the new Torii Gate location says, it's got a forest. At the start of the enemy phase, Vengeful Echo moves one location towards this location. And we can spend 2 clues at Torii Gate to move the Crimson Butterfly towards the Torii Gate. Why would we want to do that, you might ask? Well, if we look at Act 3A Between Angels and Insects, something has come alive in the forest, and the Crimson Butterfly is clearly unsettled by it. Unfortunately, the forest feels like it has rearranged itself somehow while you've been inside it, obscuring the exit. You feel you should find your way back to the gate, before whatever is out there finds you. When the Crimson Butterfly enters the Torii Gate, advance. So we've got to push the butterfly to the Torii Gate. We actually pull him from the Torii Gate, which is nice. And Vengeful Echo is going to be moving in that direction also. Okay, we're out of actions, so we go to upkeep. Or no, we go to enemy phase, and that means Vengeful Echo takes a step forward. And then we will upkeep Nathaniel. Another copy of Safeguard. And we will upkeep Norman. Ooh, shortcut will be good here. Let's see. I think we punched a crow last turn, and I think we discovered a clue last turn. So we'll just doom on. 4 turns to get that butterfly to the Torii Gate. I think we can do it. It'll be close, but I think we can do it. We need encounters, though. Lingering Essence is going to make it slightly harder. And some Entangling Roots are going to be frustrating us also. Okay. This is going to be close. Let's have a little think. We've got some clues, so Norman can book it to the Torii Gate and pull the butterfly. But he has got Entangling Roots, so I think that's what we got to worry about first. So why don't we have Nathaniel go first and try to bust those roots up? I mean, I don't think it's even worth trying to defeat the Vengeful Echo. Let's think. 10 health, 3, 4 damage off a 1-2 punch, 5 if you add a vicious blow, and then we're just punching for 1, 6 if we take the Blind Warden bonus. Maybe we can. Maybe we can kill it. Well, okay, first things first is get Norman out of the Entangling Roots. And I don't want to waste any of these cards to do that, so I'll just try it raw at 5 to 4. That's -3. Yeah. Whoop. Clicking too much. Second try, we'll try it again. And I'm now at a 6 to 4. Christ. That's just a good old fail. We don't have any clues to put on there. 7 to 4. I'm trying, Norman. I really am. Is that -3? Okay, we got it. Whew. Wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Let's see. So how many clues do we need to pull the butterfly? We need 6. So we can... How many do we have? 5? Okay, so if we get 1 along the way, Norman can pull it the whole way there. So why don't we plan on that? We'll shortcut for free to move Norman here. Nathaniel will come with, thanks to... Well, maybe we better leave him there in case he does need to push the butterfly. Yeah, we'll leave him there. Okay, but we can get 1 clue off of here, which we can with working the hunch. Or working a hunch, rather. We now have enough clues to pull the Crimson Butterfly all the way there. So why don't we go first action, move down to this unrevealed verdant copse. It's Bamboo Avenue. I'm gonna walk down to... Oh, never mind. 3 shroud, 1 clue. we must spend an additional action to move away from Bamboo Avenue. And if we had a melee asset, we could heal a horror, but that's okay. We're not doing too badly on the damage front. Alright, so we just action 3 and 4, move away from Bamboo Avenue. I guess that's it. Does Divine Messenger say successfully investigate or discover a clue? It says discover a clue. Alright, so we're good from working a hunch. Okay, that's everybody done. Start of the enemy phase. Lingering Essence is going to hunt to here. Vengeful Echo is going to move one location closer to Torii Gate. I guess we could have it go that way if we wanted to, but maybe we'll try to get Nathaniel to beat it up before Norman pulls the butterfly 1, 2, 3 on his turn. Yeah, why not? Okay, I think we got it. So we just need to upkeep and upkeep and Doom on and get decent encounters. Lingering Essence, that's a pretty good time for you. And encounter for Norman. Entangling Roots, who cares? We're where we want to be. Okay, well, let's see if Nathaniel can do this. Let's see if he can walk up to the Vengeful Echo and just get us a victory. So first action is going to be move. Vengeful Echo engages. Second action is going to be pay 1, 2 to 1, 2 punch. Wait, did we punch something last turn with Nathaniel? I don't think we did. I think we spent 3 actions getting out of some Entangling Roots with him. Okay. So we're gonna 1, 2 punch and commit 2 vicious blows. And so we're gonna fight once for 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Hot tamale. So we'll take the 1, 2 punch back. So that's 4 damage onto the Vengeful Echo. Whoops, not 43, just 4. Okay, so that was 4 damage because the 1 from the attack, 1 extra from Nathaniel, plus 2 vicious. Right? Right. And then 1, 2 punch lets us attack again and have it do plus 1 damage. So we'll attack again for 2 more. And then last action we'll pay 2 to 1, 2 punch again. Okay, we might lose this one though. So we're at plus 1, so we're at 5, 6, 7 to 4. Got it. And then we attack again with 1, 2 punch for 2 damage, so he'll be at 1 health. If he attacks us... Oh, that sucks. And it's only during the enemy phase, right? Oh, man. Is there any way we can chuck a damage down court? I don't think so. That's frustrating. Okay, so the second punch was plus 2, so 5, 6, 7, 8... Minus 2 is 6. We got it. And it does 2. Gets it to 9. Okay, well, we could just stall a turn and let me survival knife it to death. That would be good. What else can we do? He's not gonna die, right? 2/2. Yeah, I think we can do that. Okay, let's just, with Norman, let's spend the first 2 actions. We'll pay 4 clues to pull the butterfly 1, 2 locations. Oh, and, Vengeful Echo is actually going to move away from Nathaniel. Maybe that needs to be if Vengeful Echo is unengaged. That's a good note. See, that's why we do it. Tory, if unengaged. Okay, that's a good note. But written as is, it's going to move away from Nathaniel at the start of the phase. So he'll have to come down there to punch it. Neat. Alright, well, what should we do then with his last action? Perhaps we'll just Stars Are Right? Just to have a little bit of fun. Seems good. Okay, that's everybody. Start of the enemy phase. Lingering Essences don't need to hunt. But Vengeful Echo does need to hunt. Sort of. Oh wait, let's see, I punched him, so he should have exhausted. But it doesn't say... Okay, so maybe it needs to be if unengaged and unexhausted. He moves towards the Tory Gate. But we did exhaust him. Okay. And, alright, and then we go to Upkeep. Oh, great. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, and then we go to Doom, and then we take encounters for the last time. Woods Have Eyes. I'll just commit all my Soothing Melodies to that. Actually, why bother? Because if I fail, I can just move down to the... Which I did. I guess that's -2, and I'm at 2 to 3. Yeah. Okay, so I gotta take a Horror and move to a revealed connecting location. Vengeful Echo should have stood up. Move. Vengeful Echo engages. I'll discard that. And then encounter for... What do you know? Stars Are Right. Okay, why don't you take this action then, Nathaniel? Card, resource, and then just rain unholy hell down on Vengeful Echo. Commit the daring. Attack 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 4. Easy every time. Got him. Whoop. Alright, Vengeful Echo to the victory display. Then we go to the investigator phase, and Norman spends 2 clues to pull the Crimson Butterfly to the Tory Gate. And when the Crimson Butterfly enters the Tory Gate, we advance. Agenda 3B, the Hidden Village. The Crimson Butterfly vanishes from sight as it passes through the gateway, and a yawning portal opens between its archways, casting the forest in its pale red light. On the other side, a rustic village beckons. Resolution 1. Alright, we did it! Let's head to the resolution. Resolution 1. You swallow nervously as you hover at the edge of the shimmering portal. There's no way to know when or where it's going to take you. But the menacing revenants now stalking the woods leave you little choice. You reach a tentative hand into the portal, disturbing the image of a full moon in a starry sky. The Crimson Butterfly seemed to be leading you here for a reason. In the campaign log record, the investigators discovered the Hidden Village. Each investigator earns experience equal to the Victory X value of each card in the victory display, and 1 additional experience as their insight into the mythos deepens. So how much did that end up being? It wasn't a ton, was it? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 from the Vengeful Echo, 5 from the 1 extra. So that's not bad. 5 XP. Let's jot that down. Decent. Proceed to Interlude 1, The Woman in the Fog. If any investigator ended Scenario 1 with a face-down encounter card in their threat area, reveal them and continue reading this section. Well, we both caught glimpses of the Pale Bride, as it turned out. One of the investigators who caught a glimpse of the Pale Bride must read the following. Just before you pass through the portal, your mind is filled with thoughts of the mysterious woman you thought you saw in the fog earlier. It was easier to believe your mind was simply playing tricks on you before, but now, with everything you've seen, you're certain she was real. Could she be involved with Takeshi's death? Or the missing girls the villagers spoke of? You sense answers aren't going to be easy to come by, but there's no turning back now. In the campaign log record, the investigators have been marked by the Pale Bride. Each investigator who caught a glimpse of the Pale Bride earns 1 additional experience as their insight into the mythos deepens. 6 XP in Scenario 1. What a generous designer. And then we proceed to Scenario 2, House on the Hill. Alright, well we did it, folks. That's Scenario 1 of the Ghosts of Onigawa. Scenario 1, The Hidden Village. Yeah, that was great. We survived, which was delightful, with a couple turns to spare. Big ups to Nathaniel Cho for doing like 5 damage to the Vengeful Echo in one fell swoop. Maybe he needs to be a little scarier. I'm gonna think about that. Yeah, maybe just needs more health, to be honest. I don't mind him not killing people in the first scenario, but should be a little more intimidating than that, maybe. On the other hand, doing 5 damage in 1 attack is pretty freaking good. And you shouldn't be punished for doing something really awesome. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I hope it has piqued your interest at least. But as I'm recording this, the first 3 scenarios of the campaign are available to preview, so you can get started on your own Onigawa campaign right now if you want. But yeah, I had a great time. We did catch a couple of little typos and things that I probably need to fix templating-wise. The Torii Gate Forced effect's a little problematic. But other than that, it went off pretty dang well. I'll expect to keep doing this, every couple of weeks, or as I finish a new scenario in the campaign. But yeah, this is a good way for us to start, and I'm happy with how Nathaniel and Norman performed. You guys did great. And I've got 6 XP to spend on their decks before we come back for Scenario 2, so I'm looking forward to figuring out what the best thing to do for that is. But yeah, for now, I think I'll just say goodbye, and hopefully I'll see you in part 2.